Greetings, peace and blessings. Happy Saturday. How are y'all doing today? I am the Moon Mama, and today is Saturday. Saturday is the day governed by Saturn. This morning, I really want to talk about something that I watched last night on Netflix called Crack Conspiracy and all that sort of stuff. There's a documentary that's out now, finally, about the crack epidemic in the Black community and Ronald Reagan's and George Bush's and all of the politicians who participated in that experience that literally flooded the Black community all over the country with crack cocaine and then proceeded to create laws and restrictions and a prison system that would then build the economy for wealthy people on the backs of people who were dealing with addiction. So this is Saturn in Aquarius. Like, things are coming to light, like things that we've always known. Think the clarity is coming, like the past is being clarified. This is Saturn in Aquarius. And when I was a little girl, I grew up in Watts, and Los Angeles was kind of like the hub for this crack epidemic. And my whole entire family, on some level, was completely wiped out. Like, literally, my father was killed. My mother had a drug problem. I watched my uncles. And then I watched my friends, my peers. 1986 is the year that this thing was really going on, and I was graduated from high school, and I watched my peers go to jail. I watched my very first boyfriend, who was 16 years old or something like that, get arrested and go to jail for 10 years. Got out of jail when he was 29, I believe. His brother went to jail. I watched so many of my peers go to prison, and like, it was really interesting because my peers were going to prison and I was going to college, and it was confusing and devastating, and my family was really doing their best to focus me in a direction so that I didn't get caught up with dating drug dealers and things like that, which I did. I did my share of dating drug dealers, and for whatever reason, the grace of God, I did not find myself in prison. I didn't find myself, there were so many situations where I walked away, and then the next day there was gang violence and several people were killed, and I would find out about it. Countless. My house was sprayed with bullets while I was away for a weekend. And I mean, there were so many things that were going on around this crack epidemic, this drug explosion that was happening in the Black community, and millions of us were impacted by it at the hands of the government. And so today, as we are in this Saturn day, Saturn is karma, and karma is cause and effect, and things come back. Nothing is stagnant. Things have to come, where things started, the seeds have to come back. And so we're watching that today as we are looking at our country, as we're looking at the choices, the decisions, the leadership of this nation. And we're seeing that what has been put out there has to come back. And so, when I was saying that I wasn't going to vote for Joe Biden, this is why, because Joe Biden, the Clintons, they all participated in this crime bill, and they all participated believing but not understanding that the government had planted the drugs in the community. So now to come back and create a crime bill around something you actually generated is evil, right? So as I've been for years, I've been praying for this for years, I have been praying for this to come to life so that we could all really see it clearly. And so it just reminds me, like, I'm asking myself, what if the harm that they intended for Black people, for our communities, what if that harm came back to them? What if for generations of their families and lives that they got to experience their own cause? What if that happened? Wouldn't that be fascinating? Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be amazing to watch the politicians even so, like Reagan is not here anymore and Bush is not here anymore. But what if the generations of their children and grandchildren experience the effect of their cause that they intended for Black people? Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be like, oh my goodness, right? And that Black people who were impacted by this travesty, by this plague, what if we rose again and discovered our power and discovered our strength out of the ashes, out of the darkness, out of the death and destruction? What if we discovered life? Wouldn't that be amazing? Because that's the thing about Saturn in Aquarius. It's asking what else is possible, because Aquarius is this alien energy that says, there is a blueprint, that nothing is a mistake. And today, Saturn is at the 5th degree of Aquarius, and the 5th degree is expansion. The 5th degree says that I can take anything and make something glorious with it, because everything is necessary. Everything serves to further. Everything helps on some level. But when we understand Saturn in Aquarius at this degree, we know that even the destruction serves life. Even the destruction serves life. But we understand that it's Saturn, and Saturn is always cause and effect. Always cause and effect. So in that, we get to literally ask, what's the highest and best choice that I can make? It's literally, for those of us whose families were impacted by this thing that our government did, and the choices that we made as well, right? So, because there's no victims, right? But I know, like, I was a child at the time, and so I was at the effect of the adults. And what if we can take and make something glorious out of this? How could we do that? What is possible? What is available? And that's how we have to move with the Saturn in Aquarius, because it's something we don't know. It's something we've not seen yet. And so it requires doing the deep self-forgiveness work. It requires doing the deep self-awareness work. It requires taking responsibility for your choices, and then allowing those choices to be reframed into something that is new and inspiring and uplifting. The moon today is at the 4th degree of Virgo. And the moon at the 4th degree of Virgo is beauty. Oh my God. So this experience, today, with Saturn and Aquarius, we really want to be looking at our past and being willing to make something different with it. My cats, my God, who knows what they're doing? To be willing to make something different with it. But then the moon in Virgo, look at that baby. The moon in Virgo at beauty says, what can we take and what do we leave? Because Virgo is about integration, and it's about learning from the experiences and seeing what really is here and what needs to go, what needs to stay. But at the 4th degree, it's beauty. It's like knowing that even though this has been the most difficult experience, we watched our families be devastated, decimated. But what we know is that the Creator can make something beautiful with everything if we allow it, right? So we have to be willing. We have to be curious. We have to be willing, curious, able in our spirits to experience more, to experience beauty. We have to be curious about the beauty. So with that, I encourage you guys to go watch this documentary. I am so grateful that this information is finally being brought to the public in a way that we can really consume it and understand exactly what went on. For those of you who are interested in taking the Rebirthing the Authentic Self, that class is ready. For those of you who are interested in doing the Mercury retrograde, This Mercury retrograde class, the link is there. It's $66. It's going to include the rituals, the astrology, like how the astrology is impacting you, and the rituals to help you navigate Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. The class is on February 2nd. So you register now, and we're going to be, getting you the information and the things you need. Gabrielle Zelina will be working with us to help us access that visionary energy. Mercury in Aquarius is asking us to let's go. Where are we going? What are we doing? We're so clear, like we're watching our government, we're watching all the secrets come out, we're watching all the evidence be made true of who our government has been. And so now it's this opportunity for us to come into our own authority. And so in order to come into your own authority and create your own reality, you have to let go of those thought processes, those ways of being, those ways that we've been dependent upon the government, those ways that we've been dependent in our minds, like giving it authority and power. We have to take that back. And so the Mercury retrograde class will help you take that back, that get your own vision. The rebirthing the authentic self is how I'm going to really assist you in aligning yourself to the spiritual energies that are within you, that are here, that are within you, that you were born to fulfill upon, right? And how do we do that? We do that by cultivating our internal reality. We do that by coming into nature, by studying archetypes, by understanding that we are connected to everything and that we're not just having our lives in a bubble. So I encourage you to register for the courses. Thank you for everyone who donated yesterday. I'm always so moved by your donations, your thank yous, your sharing, all of that. And then I'm so curious, how many of you have family members who were impacted by this experience that happened in the 80s with crack? How many of you how many of you have family members who had addiction or who went to prison or who died, or I'm so curious. And then how did your family deal with it, right? And then what do you think some things that we could do moving forward? For me, I'm so grateful that the information is out there. And I just am saying, what would it be like if, those politicians who basically unleashed that terror into our community, what would it be like if they experienced the comeuppance of their own creations, right? What would that be like? Wouldn't that be amazing for them to experience their own comeuppance? And then for the Black people whose families were impacted, and for us to really experience grace and discover this power, that because we have been here dealing with this kind of stuff for 400 years. They have been turning terror upon us since we've been here. So what if that really becomes something that we have reorganized in another way that awakens us into who we truly are? These magical, powerful beings who can endure, who are invincible, who are also can take that vulnerability and make something with it that is really restoring, right? It reminds me of Celie in The Color Purple when she says to Mr., "What you meant for me, come back to you 100 times," right? I'm not a great actor, but I feel that. That's exactly what I feel. And I feel it with grace and love and like excitement and enthusiasm, not this pure rage. I feel like, yeah, you get to have your own medicine. We've experienced it. We've made something glorious with it. You can have your own. So peace and blessings. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. The moon is in Virgo. Saturn is in Aquarius. Look to see, how you can make something with the ugly. How can you make something with the destruction? How can you make something? And then it's literally asking the divine to assist you to see it a new way, in a way that you could have never seen it before. And then ask to be supported in making something new and beautiful with it, because you can. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day.